to, and here's what they're trying to bank on.
They'll forget about it.
There's a group of people. Look, put the BET Awards on, and they probably
will
don't forget about it.
I'm telling you. It's exhausting. It's draining. I don't think
my misanthropy is so bad.
I know,
so bad right now.
I think the NAACP, are people really taking them seriously? This is probably why it's taking them so long to get done. Yours after
and if there's some left,
yes,
then you can have some. Sometimes you just need to be greedy. And it's time for people to be greedy. I'm like, stop running up and putting your plates on the table because you have a national audience to do so. Because it's a distraction, people. They said one of the big things, and I think this is partially true, is that with the Supreme Court having 3 major rulings coming out, they were dealing with Affordable Health Care Act, a.k.a. Obamacare, same-sex marriage, as well as there were some things on the table with the Fair Housing Act. They said people literally deflected away from the whole Fair Housing Act, which, think about it, I forgot it was part of a ruling coming out because the same-sex marriage thing, like, just
make you forget South Carolina. I don't have a flag here flying over my Capitol buildings and such, but I'm with you, and it should come down. And I get that it's offensive, but you have got to fight the fight because they're going to try to make you forget about it. So tooth and nail, they're going to fight it. So hang in there and fight for your cause.
You do, because if you let off the pedal on this, and which people are banking on the fact that so many people who are supporting this right now are just going to get tired of it. If anybody lets up at any point of time, nothing is going to get accomplished.
I agree.
And those flags will still fly, and it'll be just, remember back in 2015
when we caused a ruckus for nothing.
Right, and then those flags are still there.
We raised all that ruckus for no reason. Remember that?
Right, remember Bree Newsom, how she climbed up the
and
pole
went to jail for you all,
and
but nothing.
Took the flag down. I mean, a matter of fact, I said you need to apply more pressure. Now, granted, what doesn't need to be entertained by any means is this church burning stuff. Don't let people bait you into doing something stupid.
Right.
Because that's just an opportunity for hate groups to get out there and to flex their muscles in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
They're hoping to pick up where Dylan Roof left off. He said he wanted to start a race war. And I think people feel like if I bait you enough, now
we'll start one.
Where we're going to have a problem, if they stop burning churches and start doing other stuff, then it's going to be a problem.
It's going to be a problem. I'm gonna keep and say we're not this primitive anymore. I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed and have hope for a little bit of humanity that we are not this primitive anymore. I'm gonna try.
It was happening before the whole Dylan Roof situation.
Absolutely, but
so I'm just gonna say this seriously. To any of my people who live in the South and you live in kind of quieter towns or rural areas and you happen to be a person of color, I just think you need to take care and you need to be mindful of yourself, because I don't put it past anybody, Nikki, to want to set an example. It takes them to take one person and drag them behind a truck. It takes them.
Don't say that.
Look, we are having real conversation, and I'm just saying.
Don't say that.
We have to be honest.
Don't even don't
people
even put that in people's heads.
I know, it's already,
like, oh, we can do that again. I'm like, no, don't do that. Don't do that.
No, it's already there.
We're over that.
No, we're not. We're over it. It just happened less than a couple years ago. A guy got dragged behind a truck in Texas. What are you talking about? We're not past it. It's fresh in people's minds, and I'm just saying. You need to be mindful of your whereabouts, because apparently we've gotten to a place where people just don't get it, that it's not okay to take somebody else's life.
People get it. They just don't care.
Okay.
People get it. I mean, you
get
it. No, that's not good.
Here's what's even worse. Here's what's even worse. If you get it and you still do it.
Right. You don't care.
Hence, you really need to make your alarms need to be going off like, okay, this isn't safe. And I don't want people
living there. What are they supposed to do? Move?
No, don't move.
What, just walk and look around? What are they supposed to do?
Stand your ground, but just be mindful. That's all I'm saying. Just be mindful, because unfortunately, I hate to say this, I just feel these are really trying times for this country. And unfortunately, it's reared its ugly head. Racism never went away. It just masked itself, is all it did. And unfortunately, it's trying times. And I just think everybody just needs to be mindful where they are. That's all. Because I don't put it past somebody to want to send a stronger message, and it's not a message that needs to be heard. But I don't trust people at this point. I really don't. And especially in southern states, they're just a lot more vulnerable than we are here. Not to say it won't happen here, but if it does, something will jump off. Just know that.
Yeah.
Because the North mentality is a little different than the South. But the bottom line is that, burning churches, we're up to 8 in a matter of less than not even quite 2 weeks. And this is like an escalation.
People, come on.
People are getting threatening notes. So I would like to believe that people won't act on those threats.
I'm going to keep my fingers crossed and have a little faith, like I said, in humanity, that it's just
faith. There's no place for faith in this. What is faith, Nikki?
I'm gonna have it.
What is faith?
It's the belief that
what is faith?
It is the belief that God, like we can't be this primitive anymore. It's got to stop somewhere. It's got to stop. Let's just stop.
Stop. I'm gonna tell you when it's gonna stop. When some rogue asteroid out the Kuiper Belt comes spinning out and hits this third rock from the sun, and you hit the reset button, that's when it'll stop. Because unfortunately, there's something that's called the human condition that tends to infect everything. And for those people who are good people, I swear it's not enough of them go around.
It doesn't seem like it.
It doesn't feel like there's enough people to go around, and that's really sad. Because there's plenty of people who don't believe in this, but yet trying to eradicate that strain of people who feel this way is a problem.
But you get to feel this way, but what you can't do is impound and expose this to everybody else. You can feel however you want to feel. Again, that is your God-given right. And so you are allowed to do that. But taking it to this extreme and burning down churches and extinguishing people's lives and all this that's getting out of control, that you can't do. You can feel how you want to feel. Absolutely, you can. I will even give you that. But stay over there with it and be respectful with it. And don't do that.
Look,
when you start impeding on other people's lives and their safety and that kind of thing, that's when it turns
just
wrong.
know this, that this is when the Wild West actually had a good place, because there was a time when the law, people put that to the side.
You know, they did. They were like, you know what, whatever, pew. Yeah.
We need to take care of business.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, with being civilized comes more laws, which means your ability to really nip stuff in the bud, it's a little bit more difficult. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit more difficult, and that's unfortunate. But here's an up note to end what's trending.
Okay.
Despite everything that's going on that's negative, that's bad, believe it or not, President Barack Obama has had a fantastic week in regards to polls that
he has
CNN
had
took.
a wonderful week.
After
Best week
months
ever.
of, his approval rating kind of fluctuating, CNN, ORC did their poll and have found in the first time since, I want to say, for like in 2 years, he's finally hit a 50% approval rating.
How about
with
it?
many Americans.
How about it?
And obviously they said a lot of this has to be attributed to, obviously, with
The
two of the
Affordable
big
Care Act
Right.
and same-sex marriages.
Right, were two of the big things that really, have made people say, okay, something. Obviously he gave a very powerful speech
Yes.
at Senator Pinckney's
Funeral. Mm-hmm.
and, people said, his eulogy was just absolutely amazing. And I guess kind of made people feel a bit more sensitive.
Yes.
So in the past 2 years, he's really fluctuated. Like I said, in May, he was around 45.
Okay.
Approval, and he's jumped up to over, it was 52%, but this month he's actually jumped up to 50-50.
Go Star.
That's right. So many Americans feel that he's doing, a halfway decent job.
Okay.
A lot of challenges out there.
He's made
A
some
lot
people
of-
happy.
a lot of
past
challenges.
couple weeks. He's changed some lives in the past couple weeks.
Look,
You gotta.
I'm gonna tell you something. He has a job I wouldn't want to stay in my life,
I mean, no.
because the decisions that he has to make, and he can't make a decision that's totally based on his opinion and his thoughts
Right.
and his feelings.
Right.
It really has to be about the greater good of the country.
It does.
And every decision is not going to benefit everybody.
It is
It's
not.
a tough job. I wouldn't want.
I
want
can't make 4 people happy at the same time. I don't even know how you could possibly begin to take care of a whole country and have everybody happy. That I wouldn't want his job either. But kudos to you, Mr. Obama. You've changed some lives, and people are showing you that they like that and appreciate it.
All
So
right,
good
that's
stuff.
going to wrap up the What's Trending section. We're going to switch
Okay.
gears at noon and move into the Fine Line segment. And the topic for that is going to be, now that same-sex marriage is legal, is the door open for plural marriages, a.k.a. polygamy?
Here we go.
And as you know, that Chief Justice John Roberts argued that the ruling may clear the way for constitutional rights to polygamy, as well as people marrying their cats and dogs and
Here we
trees and all
go.
kinds of stuff.
Yep.
He felt like it just opens the door to too much. Well, to discuss this, we're going to have on Dr. Elizabeth Cheff. We call her a.k.a. Dr. Eli, because she's the author of The Polygamous Next Door, Inside Multiple Partner Relationships, Families. She's a global expert on polyamory, international expert on children and polygamous families. She's the expert, and she's going to chat to us about what this all means and what people can realistically expect. So stay tuned when the Maya Akai Show comes back, featuring comedian Nikki Brady. We're going to talk some polygamy. All right, stay tuned.
It's time to get busy.
Live from the smooth 90.5 FM HD studio. You are tuned into the Maya Akai Show.
You have my undivided attention.
Streaming worldwide at Live365. iHeartRadio.com. Listen via Sirius Channel 432. Watch and listen at WGSJBC.com.
Maestro, if you please.
The Maya Akai Show. Radio never looked so good.
All right, welcome back to the Maya Akai Show featuring comedian Nikki Brady.
Yeah.
That's right, we wrapped up all the gloom and doom of what's trending. Can't get enough of that, can we now?
No.
And then to add to the conversation, not only are we about to talk about polygamy, but